All right, let's get into it. The biggest single story heading into this Raiders game is the return of Rashee Rice. You already heard the hype on the channel podcast. Now I want to walk you through what his presence actually does to this offense and why this feels like a soft landing for him. First, picture how Kansas City's spacing has looked the first 6 weeks. Opposing defenses were often able to more tightly bracket single threats because there wasn't that dynamic outside threat, consistently stretching the middle and creating after-catch chaos. When Rice is on the field, he's not just another target, he's a gravity piece. He demands coverage attention that changes how safeties and linebackers can cheat down. That 5-yard throw can become a 30-yard play because of the way he finishes runs after the catch, and Mahomes trusts him in traffic. That's money. Second, remember the tape from last year, the plays the podcast hosts mentioned, 7 catches for 103 against Baltimore, the touchdown against Cincinnati, and the 12 for 110 day. Those weren't flukes. Those were moments where defensive schemes failed to account for his route variety and physicality. Against a Raiders secondary that's had cover issues and has been leaning on linebackers in coverage, Rice's skill set is tailor-made to exploit the soft spots. If the Raiders insist on playing linebackers over the top of the slot or hiding weak nickel matchups, Rice will win those reps, and Mahomes will find him. Third, consider the flow effect. It's not only Rashee's numbers we care about, it's what he opens up for everyone else. Tight windows for Travis Kelce will become easier, screens to running backs get more room, and Worthy or Thornton can take advantage of single coverage when defenses try to double Rice. The offense becomes less predictable. That's huge halfway through the season when adjustments matter. Now, the practical target prophecy, the podcast hosts argued over the over-under 7 targets mark and both took over. I'm with them. Expect the Chiefs to get him the ball early and often. It's week 7, you want chemistry and rhythm. The easiest way to get Rice comfortable is to feed him touches in sequence. Short routes, a couple of manufactured touches, then let him go vertical. So go ahead and vote in the comments. Over 7 or under 7? Say your pick and why. Quick engagement break. If you're enjoying this breakdown and you want more film-style chaptered scripts like this, for every Chiefs game, smash that like button and subscribe. We're chasing 6,000 subscribers, and every new sub helps us get deeper access and more breakdowns for you. Drop a comment telling me who you want to see get the first Rashee target. Last point for this chapter, matchup context. The Raiders have Max Crosby. He's a game changer and you can't sleep on him. But outside of Crosby, this Raiders defense has vulnerabilities in single coverage and safety range. That's why this is a perfect, soft landing game for Rice's return. A chance to come back and immediately influence the game script in Kansas City's favor. Now, let's flip it over to the defense, because the way the Chiefs attack Geno Smith in this one could decide everything. The podcast hit the number. Spags blitzed 64% of the time in that Eagles matchup, and that aggressive mindset is exactly what you should expect again if the game script allows it. Here's the logic, broken down so it's easy to picture. First, speed, up his clock. Geno's had an inconsistent season. When you make him move faster, whether that's with pressure up the middle, stunts off the edge, or well-timed blitzes from linebackers, you force quicker decisions and increase the chance of turnovers. The Raiders are already league-leading in giveaways. You don't need a radical game plan to exploit that. You just need to make him uncomfortable early and often. Second, attack their personnel decisions. The Raiders have shown a tendency to play linebackers in coverage instead of their nickel package at times. That creates matchup advantages for the Chiefs, especially with a returning Rashee Rice and tight windows to attack over the middle. Spags can mix heavy pressure looks with disguised coverage. The goal is to bait short passes and then turn them into takeaways. Bring the house on 3rd and medium when the down and distance fits, and drop into tight zones on other early downs to minimize explosive plays. Third, use movement and variety in rushers. You don't want to be one-dimensional. Give Galati and the young guys some pass-rushing reps with clear rolls. A simple stunt here, a speed-to-power twist there. If Chris Jones is limited or schemed away, the Chiefs need others to win one-on-ones. That's where sustained pressure from 4 or clever blitz packages from the edges becomes crucial. Even a quick interior push can collapse the pocket enough for a sack or hurried throw. Fourth, emphasize turnover opportunities over sacks. Yes, sacks are great for the highlight reel, but the priority should be interceptions and forced fumbles. Force Geno to throw into tight windows and have defenders ready to capitalize. That means disciplined tackling with punch-outs and on-the-ball awareness on broken plays. Quick engagement. I want you to pick one. Do you want Spags to blitz early and often? Yes. Or play more conservative and let the offense dominate time of possession? No. Vote in the comments and tell me which blitz package you'd call on third down. Before we close this section, special teams and field position matter. Making Geno start drives with long fields, punt placement, coverage discipline, helps the defense's chance to attack. If the Chiefs can combine field position wins with an aggressive pass rush, turnovers will follow and the offense will get more short fields to work with. If you're enjoying these tactical breaks and want weekly defensive game plans like this, hit subscribe. We're chasing 6,000 subscribers, and give this video a like. Now let's get into the money-minded stuff for a minute, but keep it simple and fan first. You heard Benny and the crew break down the lines. The Chiefs opened as roughly an 11 to 11.5 point favorite with a total sitting around 45.5. The interesting nugget they focused on, and what I want you to really think about, is the first half market. Raiders, Blombing 0.65 in the first half looked like excellent value. Here's why that matters for you, whether you bet or just use it to read the game. First, game script expectations. If the Chiefs get Rashee Rice going early and the offense hits quickly, you'd expect Kansas City to put points on the board later in the game once adjustments are made. Historically, the Chiefs haven't always dominated the first half tempo or time of possession lately. That gives the Raiders a real chance to hang around early. Betting the first half is a way to isolate that specific game segment where momentum and matchups matter, more than the final outcome. That's why Pluck 6.5 for the Raiders can be a smart hedge if you believe the Chiefs will pull away in the second half, but not necessarily dominate early. Second, where money is moving. The podcast mentioned more money on the over and heavier bets on the Chiefs outright, but often the real insight is in percentages. If sharp money is on a first half number like Pluck 6.5, that tells you the market thinks the opening half could be competitive. For live bettors, that's gold. Watch the clock and the first two possession sequences, because you can use that early action to find in-game props that pay better than a full game spread. Third, props and micro bets. If you like Rice's return, player props, first touch, anytime catch, over, under on targets, will be juicy early in the game. If you're thinking defense, look at turnover props and sacks in the first half. Small stake, high-value plays in the opening quarter sometimes produce the most consistent returns if you're disciplined. Important, always bet responsibly. Only wager what you can afford to lose and treat this as entertainment. If you gamble, set limits and know your jurisdiction's resources. Engagement break. I want to know. Are you betting the Chiefs to cover the spread? Yes, no? Vote in the comments and say whether you're doing full game money line, first half plays, or just watching for props. If you want more weekly betting breakdowns like this, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing for 6,000 subscribers, and every sub helps us do deeper analysis and quicker breakdowns for you. Let's talk about the heartbeat of Spagnuolo's defense, the pass rush. Because this week, all eyes are on who steps up behind Chris Jones. The podcast nailed it. If the Chiefs want to keep turning defense into offense, someone in that front has to become the difference maker when teams double or slide protection toward Jones. Let's start with George Karlaftis. He's been solid, consistent, effort, strong hands. but not always disruptive enough to tilt a game by himself. This is his opportunity. Against the Raiders' offensive line, which struggles with delayed stunts and interior twists, Karlaftis can win with technique and persistence. Expect Spags to move him around, maybe even stand him up occasionally, to isolate mismatches. Then there's Felix Anudike-Uzomah and Mike Dana. Both have flashed, but neither has yet seized that "I'm the guy next to Jones" role. The key for them this week is timing. When Spags dials up those blitz looks, someone from the edge needs to collapse the pocket fast enough to force Geno Smith into panic throws. That's where Felix's burst and Dana's motor can make a difference. Even if they don't rack up sacks, just disrupting timing can lead to interceptions or bad throws that end drives. And here's the sleeper name: Austin Galata. The podcast brought him up as someone the coaching staff quietly likes because of his first-step quickness. This could be one of those games where he flashes in limited snaps. If Galata can steal even 1 or 2 high-impact reps, a third-down hurry, a QB hit, that's enough to change a possession and get him more snaps going forward. Now, the question everyone's asking: how do you replace or supplement Chris Jones when he's being doubled? The answer is creativity. Blitz linebackers through the A-gap, send safeties off the edge, rotate looks to disguise who's coming. That's Spags' specialty. I don't need a single player to dominate if the system keeps quarterbacks guessing. The defense thrives when every rusher feels dangerous. Engagement time. I want you to call your shot. Who's your pick for the breakout pass rusher this week? Drop it in the comments. Karlaftis, Dana, Felix, or Galata. I'll pin the most liked prediction before kickoff. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 6,000 subscribers, and we drop these breakdowns every week. To close this section, remember the Chiefs' pass rush isn't just about sacks. It's about creating chaos. Pressure leads to turnovers, turnovers lead to points. And if Kansas City can keep the pressure consistent without over-blitzing, that's when they look like the best defense in football. All right, let's tie everything together and give you the checklist the Chiefs need to run through if they want a clean win over the Raiders. We've already covered Rice's return, the defensive blitz plan, the betting, angles, and who has to step up rushing the passer. Now here are the concrete keys the Chiefs must hit. Win the line of scrimmage. If the Chiefs control the trenches, run game creates manageable third downs, and pass protection buys Mahomes time, everything else follows. Early drives that end in first downs change game script and let the defense play more aggressively. Use Rashee Rice as a pressure valve, not just a deep threat. Get him short, get him moving after the catch, and force the Raiders to respect the slot. That opens space for Kelsey, Worthy, and Thornton and gives Mahomes easier reads on third down. Force turnovers early. That's the defense's job this week. Hurry Geno, bait him into tight throws, and be ready to rip the ball loose. A turnover or two in the first half flips field position and betting angles in the Chiefs' favor. Special teams, discipline, and field position. Don't give the Raiders short fields. Pin punts, make tackles in bounds, and avoid unnecessary penalties. Also keep an eye on Bucker. If pat or kickoff issues creep up, they affect both scoreboard and momentum. Manage clock and tempo. If the Chiefs can use sustained drives to chew clock and keep Geno off the field, that reduces the Raiders' upset potential. But be flexible. If turnovers happen, the Chiefs can speed up and finish the game early. Predictions: short and clean. Best case script: Chiefs control possession, Rice gets 7+ targets, defense forces 2+ turnovers. Final score: Chiefs 31, Raiders 14, close but controlled. Early Raiders push back, Chiefs pull away in Q3, Q4. Final score: Chiefs 27, Raiders 17. Watch out scenario: if the Chiefs can't pressure and special teams give bad field position, this stays close. Final score range: Chiefs 24, Raiders 20. Engagement quick hit. Vote in the comments. Which score range do you lock in? A. Chiefs by 1-7, B. Chiefs by 8-14, C. Chiefs by 15+, and why? Remember to like the video and subscribe. We're pushing for 6,000 subscribers, and your support is how we keep bringing these deep game breakdowns every week on Total Chiefs News.